I want you today, as you're listening to this, to make a commitment that, trust me, is going to transform how you show up for your horse. I want you to begin to look for, actively find them. Look for 15 minutes or less, okay, these little gaps in your schedule with your horse. And you're going to get really, really strategic about what you're doing with them for the next 90 days. I'm going to show you how to do that today and how, trust me, this will transform everything for the two of you. Okay, you ready? Let's dive in. Hey there, and welcome to the Daily Strides podcast. My name is Orna Leeson. I'm an equestrian trainer and coach, and I work with riders from all over the world to help them to make the most of the time they have with their horse, especially if they don't have the regular guidance from an instructor or trainer to help them reach their goals. Okay, so today I want to show you how you can begin to actively look for these 15 minutes or less, okay? And then to make the most of them. And what I'd love for you to do is pop over to stridesforsuccess.com/15, and it's the number 15, okay? 15. And I've got a free resource there that you can download that actually lays out ideas that you can do in 15 minutes or less with your horse, eh? Let's not say you don't know what to do. You do, okay? I've put it all there for you. So yeah, you can pop over there and get that. It's absolutely free. And what I want you to begin doing is to start getting really, really clear on, first of all, what your longer term vision is for you and your horse, and then how you can begin to take those smaller pieces of time, those smaller little opportunities of time that you find, and trust me, there are so many of them, hey? When you stop disregarding them, when you change your mindset around what you can do with that time, you are going to see so many differences, okay? But when you begin to change that and you begin to actively get a little kind of a plan going for the two of you, okay? You and your horse with those smaller pieces of time, you are going to just change everything. It really and truly will do that for you and your horse. So the big thing about these smaller chunks of time is how they allow you to become more consistent. And I know this seems really strange and you're thinking, how can they? But they really do, especially when you put the whole kind of having a plan around it. And when you're creating your plan, I do think that you need to be consistent about working towards something specific, okay? So if you don't have a vision or a goal, okay, whatever you want to call it, if you don't have something that you and your horse are working towards, that you'd love to achieve together, that you kind of have this vision in your head of how you want things to be by a certain date, okay? I'm going to, first of all, tell you to start there. Okay, get into the nitty gritty. No, really have something that you can hold in front of you and you can say, this is what I want, this is where we're going, and then use that to guide you in how you're going to spend your time. Because I do think that there are three, I've said this so many times, but there are three really important elements that make up a training program or a plan with your horse, okay? And they are fun, they are partnership, and they are training and developing, okay? You need all three. You can't just approach it and say, oh, well, I'm just going all in on the training and developing end of it because I have this goal. Trust me, if you don't have the fun, you're not going to stick with it. And if you don't have the partnership, your horse probably isn't going to stick with it, okay? Your horse is not going to get on board with you with that goal, okay? So it is really, really important that you have all three elements. So let's start with fun. What's fun? Well, the funny thing about fun is that fun has to be fun in the moment. You can't be in the thick of something and say, oh, this is a real struggle. Like, this is not enjoyable, but it'll feel like so much fun when we finish. No, it won't. Okay, it might like later, when you add time to something, you can always kind of look back on it with those rose tinted glasses and have a bit of a laugh. But in the moment, if it's not fun, then it's not fun. Okay, fun needs to be that as you're doing it, as it's happening, as it's unfolding right now in that moment, it has to feel like fun. And fun also has to be fun for you and your horse, okay? It's no good it being all like fun for you. You're having a barrel of laughs and your horse is just miserable. That's not fun. Fun has to be for both of you. So I do think that fun can be a great focus point if you are coming back to riding after a significant break, or maybe it doesn't have to be that significant, whether it's decades, whether it's years, or whether it's months, okay? You coming back to riding, I would strongly suggest trying to build out a plan that involves a lot of fun things. And if you're thinking, well, what are fun things? Oh, remember that little list that I told you about? Yeah, well, I've outlined some of them there for you. So go over and get it and start then adding your fun things to that list. But yeah, begin breaking it down, begin putting in the fun. And especially, as I said, if you're trying to make working with your horse a regular occurrence in your life again, okay, I would say fun. Put the big emphasis there on fun. Okay, the second thing to include in would be partnership building activities, okay? Partnership, relationship, bonding, trust, anything that is going to increase the levels of you and your horse really feeling connected to each other, connected to what you're doing, being present in the moment. And then from there, that building up the trust that is going to lower anxiety. It's going to lower any fears, any maybe doubts that come in, that it's this feeling like, oh, you've got my back. And you know what? I've got your back. We are together. We are a team. We're working together. We've got this kind of vision where we're both on board. It's great because no matter what you do with your horse, you need that. Okay. That has to be there. Where so many riders fail is that they just spend so much time either focusing on all the fun or on all the training, and they lack the connection with their horse. You need the connection, hey? So yeah, partnership building activities are really important regardless of what your vision is. However, if you or your horse are struggling with confidence, okay, so if confidence has been a thing where you're not feeling confident, whether it's in yourself or your horse, or whether your horse is not feeling confident in themselves or you, okay, if there's just this lack of confidence, I would say devoting the majority of your time with your horse on confidence building activities and on partnership building activities or partnership strengthening activities, that is going to serve you guys so well. And again, if you're thinking, well, what's a partnership strengthening activity, Lorna? That little list, okay? You're going to pop on over to stridesforsuccess.com/15, the number 15, 15, okay? The list is there, get it. And as I said, add to it, make it yours, print it off, stick it into your planner, hint, hint, your riding planner, your riding journal, stick it into maybe the tack box, put it on the back of the tack room door, put it wherever you keep your saddle, whatever, okay? Put it inside your hat if you want. But what I do want you to do is to have it so that you can begin to use it. And not only that, you can begin to expand on it. You can write down your ideas. You can really and truly make this your own, okay? So it's really important. So confidence building, I would definitely say look for partnership building activities, and that's going to serve you and your horse. Now, the third thing that you can spend 15 minutes or less with your horse on developing is actually training activities. And I call it developing and training. So these are things where if we think of traditional goals that we might have in our riding, this would be kind of that category. So if we think about, I want to ride a clean flying change, ding, 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 that's training and developing, okay? I want to be able to pick up the correct canter lead 100% of the time. That's a big goal, eh? Ding, ding, ding. There you go. That's training and developing. So having those goals are really important as well. And I would say, obviously, if you've got this like bigger vision for you and your horse with regards to what you can do together, it's going to be important. I think you should always have training and developing in your program because you want to all the time keep moving things forward, keep it fresh, keep introducing different questions that you and your horse can kind of figure out together, okay? That's really important, regardless of what your longer term vision or goals are. You don't have, and by the way, it doesn't have to have anything to do with being competitive, okay? Be competitive with yourself. Start with those 90 days. Like, promise yourself, I'm going to do these 90 days. I'm going to find those 15 minutes or less, and I'm going to make them work for myself and my horse, because this is the way going forward. This is how we're going to transform things. This is how I'm going to change what I was doing previously and begin a new approach. I'm going to look for 15 minutes or less, these little chunks, these little gaps, these little gifts, okay? Opportunities that you and your horse can take together, you can work on them, and you can move things forward. Trust me, when you begin to, first of all, identify those 15 minutes or less, and then when you begin to actually use them, because you've got that little list, okay? And you're like, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and it's going to be amazing. And then when you begin to get strategic, when you're like, okay, I've got like 5 of those this week. What? And you can have 2 or 3 on the one day, okay? But I'm going to have 5 of those this week. I'm going to do this, 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 and this. That's where you're going to see progress. But first of all, you need to begin to appreciate the value of 15 minutes or less and exactly what you can do in that time to move you and your horse forward. And if you're still feeling a wee bit clueless about it all, again, I'm going to invite you to pop over to stridesforsuccess.com/15. Now, one more thing I would love for you to do today, and this is actually, I'm being a little bit cheeky, this is a favour for me. If you know of another equestrian that this may benefit, okay, so you know of another rider who's sitting there going, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to make things happen, won't you share this episode with them? It would really, really make my day. Trust me, it'll make their day. We're going to help all the riders to really and truly reach their goals as they go forward with their horse. I would really, really appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. That would be great. Okay, I am going to leave it there. If you haven't already, pop over, join me inside of the Daily Strides podcast online community. I'm going to be doing more trainings this month on this topic to help you and your horse. So you can find all the details there over at stridesforsuccess.com/group. And of course, all those links are listed below wherever you're listening to this podcast as well. You can just scroll down while we're listening right now and do all of that as well. Remember, share the podcast if you can with somebody that you think would find value. Okay, I'm going to leave it there. Have a super day. Keep well, and I'll chat to you soon. Be good. Bye.